So Israel going to elections again. If you were here on Tuesday, you heard me probably says that in very high percentage is going to happen. I explained some of it in Tuesday, why it's happening. In touch points tomorrow, Shani and me prepared a video that's going to explain some of it also. So look on that. I want to touch another point of that before the touch points. Why it's actually happening. It's actually related to something that happened today, 75 years ago. The days were a few months before Israel founded, actually 10 or 11 months before Israel founded. And there was a tour in Israel, Palestine of that time, of a British committee that needed to decide what to recommend it to the UN about whether Israel should have a state or not. Should it be one state or two states? And the situation in Israel was very intense between the religious and unreligious people in the leadership of the Ityashvut, of the people in Israel. And everyone was very nervous because from the one hand, all the Haredim and the religious guys really wanted the Israeli new state that's going to be founded in a few more months to be with a religious perspective, with something that will be important to the religious. And the secular guys, even though they didn't really want to have something religious, they understood they need the recommendation of the religious guys for that committee also, and to look like everyone is united about the wanting to have the state of Israel. So, in Rosh Chodesh Tamuz, Aleph Betamuz, like today, 1947, Tafshin Zayin, they signed an agreement that called the status quo. Maybe you heard about that. The status quo at that time, they signed about 4 things that everyone agreed that going to be according to the halacha, according to the Torah. That was kashrut, Shabbat, meaning all the things that related to the government will keep Shabbat. Chinuch, education. There's going to be an option to be in religious education, and also marriage and divorce and all that kind of stuff will be through the Rabbanut. That agreement, even though it's been signed 75 years ago and never actually got a legal meaning. I mean, beside of the fact everyone signed about that and was happy about that, there isn't no law that says you need to listen to the status quo. But since then, everyone tried to keep about that. And every time someone tried to do something, let's say, works in Shabbat, about the train or something, there will be a lot of mess because everyone would say, this is the status quo. Or every time someone want to marry, not through the Rabbanut. Okay, this is Balagan, this is not the status quo. And I think this is also one of the things that because of them, the government in Israel, even though they last for a year, which is for Israel in the last years, this is a lot to be a government for a year. Eventually, these kind of stuff really make the government to fall apart. One great example for that was, and again, the wider explanation is in the Touch Points video. You can look at that. But there was a one coalition member that says before Pesach, you know what? In Israel, you don't supposed to have chametz in hospitals. And then one of the coalition members says, you know what? Why to do that? People can bring whatever they want. And because of that, someone else says, you know what, I cannot bury that. That's again the status quo. What do you mean? To have chametz in Pesach in the hospital, and they left the coalition. And this is only one example of the things that make the coalition fall apart, and how the religious in Israel is very, very connected to the government. So again, election, 5th time in 4 years. I love politics very much in Israel, so for me it's going to be very interesting, but it's also very sad that we're in this situation. And I pray with all of us that this time we will choose the good leadership that will stay at least 4 years. Who knows?